Welcome back to the Scrubdom, everybody. I've been working on a couple of projects on the side, mostly because I just wanted to get a lot of stuff done, as well as getting set up for, well, today's video. I'm currently setting up a couple of slickster ranches. I've got two main ranches in the overflow. The overflow's on the far left there. And this is probably where we're going to get a majority of our oil, if it weren't for our 5 oil wells. That's going to be a lot of oil. That's going to make us more than enough petroleum. But I also just want to get slicksters up and running because that can be a very good supply of meat. And, well, unfortunately, the slicksters that I had brought over to the main planetoid already have kind of consumed through most of the carbon dioxide. And the room's starting to fill up with polluted oxygen from the polluted water output and steam, which has also caused one of our buildings to break. So I've had to start putting in a ventilation system. I'm gonna start pumping out all of the steam and polluted oxygen up here. Luckily, when either water or polluted water turns into steam and turns back, it always turns back into clean water. So I've kind of made an impromptu water room. Sorry, rain room. So it's not the worst. I'm getting free water out of it, but it's also like, I don't need it. So yeah, we gotta get that fixed up. So that's gonna be happening in the background. I'll let you guys know how that goes as we go through the day. A couple of things that I was trying to touch on in the stream way back when, mostly starting down here, was with the thermal aqua tuner setup and the sleet wheat farm. I'm just gonna do a little tutorial on this whole thing. I'm just gonna make a side video for it, mostly just because I want to get into the aspects of going into space. Which reminds me, it's time to tackle what the point of today's video is. Getting into space. So I've already created the rocket platform SS2, which I don't know if you can rename these. Ooh, you can rename these. I'm gonna need a really good name for this at some point. Now, however, though, before you can do a rocket platform, there's one thing you have to do before, and that's create a telescope. You'll notice above this telescope, I have this weird oblong block just sitting up here of lead tiles and sedimentary rock. That's to help block the radiation coming in, so whoever's sitting in here, because you have to have a duplicate sitting in here, mapping out everything, doesn't actually get irradiated. Radiation only really matters when you start getting a lot of it, and luckily it's barely safe in this area, but they're going to sit there for a while as they map it out. And you just need to have some view. Like, it's 3 tiles to the right and 6 tiles to the left, and then pretty much every tile straight up. And as long as most of this is revealed, you'll start mapping it out. I've already gone ahead and mapped out most of the starting star map, and it does have a certain range. Eventually you'll have to get rockets out into space and start mapping things out. So like, here's our main planetoid, here's our teleporter planetoid, and we found a couple of things. But there's one very important place that we found that I need to get to. Shurubani. Because it has metal volcanoes. It has aluminum, gold, and copper. These metal volcanoes produce refined metals, and you don't have to go through the refining process with it. I want to capture, and I'm going to capture each and every one. But also, it has a forest and an ocean. Forest means it has pips. Ocean means it has poke shells. With pips and poke shells, I could take all that polluted dirt that I've been getting and turn it back into, I believe it turns into sand with poke shells. And with pips, I can create an arbor tree farm to feed them to get an infinite supply of dirt. And all it needs is a little bit of polluted water. So I need to get here. This is the goal. Whether or not we get there this episode or next episode, we are getting there. Now, to help with a lot of my work in the background, I did have to take a new duplicant. I haven't named him yet, and nor have I named the duplicant that came out of the freezer last time that was all supposed to be on stream. So, let me go grab a name. So I want everyone to welcome, of course I click off on him wrong, get back here, John Helton. I want everyone to welcome John Helton and Taco Sniper. Taco Sniper actually came out of a freezer pod on this planetoid. He's been doing a pretty good job, and he has a whole bunch of skill points that he needs to go through. I do need to keep an eye over here, though, because they don't really have a lot of food in the area. I did get them a bathroom set up, though, and I did create them a chlorine room so they can start getting more of a supply of water. Because I'm going to need a lot of water on this planetoid because of 5 freaking oil wells. But now comes the fun part, and that is mostly just getting set up with our first rocket. I think for our first rocket, we need to mostly just be launching up into space and figuring out what to do from there. Sadly, I can't use the propulsion system that Zalok wanted to use. I actually did ask him, he wanted to use radiation, so eventually we're gonna get him to radiation. The problem is I'm short on data banks. I believe I'm short 200 data banks from getting to the Rad Bolt engine. So I'm gonna have to send him up using carbon dioxide, which of course we got really lucky and we have a carbon dioxide vent right here. Now this carbon dioxide is coming out real cold. It's real chilly in there, sitting about negative 26 degrees Celsius. But luckily I stuck in some automation already and capped it off. If I ever want to release that cold, I can, but I don't really want to. It is getting real warm in the area though. I've also started running the piping up to where our platform is. But while that gets set up, let's go ahead and get our engine built first. Alright, so unlike with building normal stuff, you actually don't build from the menu on the left side with all of your base stuff. You actually build it inside the platform using new rocket. We are after a carbon dioxide engine. We do not have enough steel. Could we build out of iron? I feel like we should wait on the steel. What about a steam engine? A steam engine also requires refined metals. How do you make a sugar engine work? No, carbon dioxide engine because it looks the funniest. So we're gonna have to wait on a bit of steel to come in. Once the steel comes in, we'll be able to get the engine built up. So until then, I'm gonna let the duplicants do some work in the background and keep an eye on things as things happen. All right, it's been a handful of cycles now. We have enough steel. I've also started bringing even closer the carbon dioxide input. For now though, let's get this carbon dioxide engine up and running. Yes, I want it made out of steel. I don't know if steel is what it needs to be made out of, but steel is what I want. So build. Then, I know it's gonna need... Oh, actually, I should wait for the engine to get built to see exactly how much room I have, because depending on the engine you use, that actually tells you how much room you have for building. I don't think the carbon dioxide engine is very big, but we'll see. All right. Wednesday fan came in. Oh yeah, that is not very big at all. All right, so we're going to need to see how much space we actually have to work with this. We're also going to want to connect up our carbon dioxide. I'm making the whole thing right here. Oh wait, actually right here should be, at least for a chunk of this, because I know it's going to get real hot in there. At least this bit should probably be made out of ceramic. I don't know how much heat they're going to have in there, just it feels like having it made out of ceramic is the good move. Now then, let's see. Can this even hold carbon dioxide? How big is that? Oh, no, that's too big. So we have the start of our first ever rocket. And literally, I mean, this is my first ever rocket. I've never built a rocket. I kind of had to keep an idea on the side of what I wanted to do. I've also named it, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to mess this up somehow, the SS Dumpster Fire. We're just waiting on the carbon dioxide to show up so we can get some fueling in here, but we also have all of this to deal with. I don't know how I'm going to get morale bonuses in here, but I need a bathroom of some sort. I'm going to need food storage, material storage, because I'm going to have a couple of things I need to transport back. Because our first trip is probably just going to be real, quick and in. It's going to be a real hit and run effort. I'm probably also going to fill it up with oxalite. So here's what I'm thinking, because right now there should be... Yeah, there's no gas in here, but we are still getting a pretty heavy dose of radiation. So I'm thinking blocking off these tiles up here. Just to make sure that they get blocked off well, we'd use lead, because it has the best way of blocking it off. Alright, so I'm going to need to think this through on some sort of way of actually getting this built up. I might just have to guerrilla tactics it. Well, I think I was able to guerrilla tactics this. Aside from adding a couple of solar panel modules, just because I feel like I'm going to need those, I think I guerrilla tacticked an interior. It's not the best interior. You'll notice there's no place to wash your hands, because this interior is very small. But it's got an outhouse, so I'll have a place to use the restroom. That storage container there on the left is going to be full of oxalite first, that I'm going to drop off. Or maybe I should fill it with dirt first. You know what? We'll fill it with a bunch of dirt first, and then we'll get it full of a bunch of oxalite, just so we have something to breathe in here. But once they have that done, we're pretty much ready to load up Nuzlocker, and I think we're about to go into space. God, that feels weird. We're going into space. One last thing before we go up. I am skill scrubbing Nuzlocker. So the skill scrubber lets you reset what skills they actually have available to themselves, because since I want him to get there quicker than, well, if this succeeds, I want him to get there quick. I'm still expecting this to explode in my face in some way. So I'm going to go tech him also into piloting, as well as just keeping all of his other skill points aside for things that I may or may not need. Like, who knows? Maybe I find one of the volcanoes, so I analyze it while I'm there and grab the data banks. I feel like he's probably going to need hard digging as well. And here we are, our first unofficial pilot. Let's get him loaded up. I mean, we're technically not quite ready to load up yet. We still have a couple of things we have to do on the interior here. It's still getting full of dirt, and then we have to fill it with oxalite, which is why I've also been gathering any oxalite that I can find and saving it up. We also have 379 kilocalories in here. That's a lot of berry sludge. That's going to last a while because duplicates only consume like 1,000 calories a day. So that's 379 cycles. I'm pretty sure that's 379 cycles. I might be wrong on that one. So while I get the oxalite loaded up, I'm going to go over a couple of things that I have installed on this thing. So the first one obviously is our engine. The engine is going to dictate the height of which you can build, which currently I'm at max height. The second module here is a Trailblazer module. While I've never actually succeeded in launching into space because I've always died before it, I know the process to landing on the next planet, and it all hinges from what I've seen on the Trailblazer module. What you're going to do when you're out in space is you're going to load your duplicate up into the Trailblazer module and you're going to shoot it down to the planet. Then this has exactly enough steel to make the rocket platform. Then you can actually land your rocket and you actually just have access to your rocket. Up next, I've got 2 solar panels because they only take up 1 space, and it is a decent source of power at the beginning. It does consume light though. And then finally you have the Solar Spacefarer nose cone, which as we've seen is very small. There's gonna be our hinging factor. That's not a lot of oxalite. So we're going to be held at bay by the fact that we don't have a lot of oxalite on this thing. That's probably going to be what gets this entire mission just destroyed. Yeah, we only have about 1,500 kilos. Here's to hoping. Well, our oxalite has been dropped off. It's time. SS Dumpster Fire. Change crew. Nuzlocker. Pilot. Crew. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Our first pilot. God, I'm actually terrified right now. I feel like I'm gonna mess this up already. He's in. Okay, now that he's in, unequip suit, because that suit's gonna maintain a whole bunch of oxygen inside of it still. Well, Nuzlocker, welcome to your living quarters for a while. Nuzlocker, if I get you killed, I'm really sorry. So when you want to change the destination, you have to come in here, and it's under this first one, destination unselected, change. We're just going right there. Destination set. We're fueled, we got oxygen. What do you mean launch checklist is complete? I've got everything done. Here we go, everybody. Beginning launch sequence. Fired my first rocket. I actually fired off my first rocket. If you actually go to your star map, you can actually see the rocket. It tells you how long it's going to take to get there. It's going to be orbiting Shabani in 0.5 cycles. And you can, of course, you can still go in and check on him. He's doing fine. He's got a toilet. He's got a bed. He doesn't have a place to sit and eat. Well, everybody, I didn't mess anything up. I'm actually really surprised I didn't mess anything up. We're gonna let Zlook fly the rocket for a while. He just has to make it there, land, and make it back. I'm really looking forward to the next episode. So much is gonna happen in the next episode. Until next time, don't scrub out.